Welcome to another segment of Budget in Focus. I'm your host, Paul McAdam. With me for this segment is Member of Parliament and one of three covering Region 10, Jermaine Figueira. Welcome to this program.
Thank you, sir.
Your reaction to Budget 2018?
Well, like I would have said, I believe that this budget is indeed a visionary budget, and it provides a lot of opportunities for various sectors, various stakeholders. The young people are catered for, those young people who are desirous of getting involved in business. A lot of opportunities are afforded to them. If you're not interested in business but you like athletics, opportunities are also afforded you to get involved in that respect as well. And it caters for you to, especially the youths in the hinterland communities, opportunities that exist on the coastlands. Those opportunities are also being afforded to hinterland youths with regards to having access now to ICT, information technology, which is indeed the direction the world is going at.
I'm trying to link everybody.
And you're trying to, this is the true representation of linking the hinterland with the coastland. We're actually bridging that divide with improved infrastructure, not only roads and bridges, but with information technology. So, like I said, the budget really caters for every aspect of the various stakeholders within Guyana, and it is parted out of the consultations with those stakeholders. That is why it is a holistic budget that caters for every aspect of Guyana.
No. You're from, well, Linden is the capital of Region 10, but how do you see it specifically catering with the allocation? I think over 3 billion allocated.
3.4 plus billion.
Right. How do you think that allocation helps Linden going forward in 2018 and the region surrounding communities?
Well, historically, this is the largest budgetary allocation the region has ever received in all of its existence. So what it does primarily is provide a plethora of opportunities. But some of the difficulties that we would have experienced in the region is ensuring that we maximize on utilizing all of the resources that was allocated to us. So the fact that we have an early budget, this is where the region has an opportunity to start planning its program now, before January. As soon as January break, those contracts can be awarded and people can start tendering for those contracts. And what that will create is that most of the contractors in the community will have an opportunity to tap into those resources. And even if you're a young contractor, you're now coming on board, you too are afforded an opportunity to bid for contracts. And as you are aware, Paul, the majority of government's resources are issued as a result of contracts. So the onus is upon us in the region to tap in on the resources that is being afforded to the region so that you could become economically empowered. And that is the hope that I will hope the region will be able to achieve, more so the people. The earlier contract is afforded a contract and completes that contract. What that does is create opportunities of employment for those workers who have to satisfy the contractual arrangement.
And most of them will be drawn from the
Well,
region.
that is what we desire. I mean, we have the skill set. I mean, Region 10 is not short of skill set.
Because all the industries you had there, you have
Oh my, bauxite, exactly. So the skill set is there. So we just have to capitalize on being the ones who are most successful in every regard in acquiring these contracts. And equally, what is most important too is that when those contracts are awarded to whoever contractor, I'm not of the view that only Linden people or people from Region 10 should be afforded these contracts, even though I prefer that because that is the home base and you would want the allocations that are allocated to you to remain in your region. But nevertheless, I'm of the view that when contracts are awarded, you must get the best value for money. And this is where the people of Region 10 comes in. If a contract is awarded to a fellow resident of the region, even an outsider, you as a resident have to take up the responsibility to ensure that that contract is being satisfied by the contractor and executed properly so that you will have value for money. Because what that does, if the contract is done it's not done in satisfying the contractual arrangement, you are shortchanged. And what you find, instead of another community who should have been afforded a road, the same community that had a road last year is still putting up for the same road to be redone because it was substandard work.
And other roads need to be done.
In other words, a lot of roads in the community have to be done. So the onus is therefore on the residents to ensure that when these contracts are awarded in their community or their street, wherever it is, go and seek from the RDC the scope of work for that contract and peruse it. Be the watchman for whatever work is going to be done in your community so that you'll have value for money, because at the end of the day, you are going to be the road user, not those who are going to be doing the contract per se.
Do you think residents are ready for something like this? Because for a long time we've been hearing, employment is not there. More people have moved towards self-employment and so on, but there's only so much you can do on your own in a community, in a region where the opportunities like that exist. I know more people are going into agriculture now and logging, but you think they're ready to take advantage of what is to come?
I do believe that they are ready. However, they still need to be afforded the opportunity to have additional assistance. For example, a young contractor now coming on the stream, you have no resources primarily. So what I discover is that contractor now has to go and build a relationship with a creditor to get the raw materials that would be needed to, say, construct a school or a health center. And he takes that on credit and he puts the contract that he or she would have won as the collateral. And he go to the creditor and say, listen, I won this contract. This is the proof. This contract is expected to finish in 2 weeks. I need you to give me this amount of resources. Now, out of some level of confidence that the fact that this man has showed me a legal document that he would have won the contract, I bestow that confidence and give him the resources. And in some instances, what happens, that young man completes the contract. But when it is completed, payment from the RDC takes some time. So that is an area that needs to be strengthened. When contracts are to be completed within this prescribed time, the RDC must be readily available
To pay
within that time frame of the completion of that contract. So the relationship I'm trying to build with this creditor would not be hindered because the administration failed to satisfy.
He or her wants
Because the creditor of himself might also be crediting from someone else. So you don't want to set up a scenario where that new contractor fails on his first try. So that is where the efficiency of the RDC is most critical. I believe we do have competent people, but in some instances, you have to demonstrate strong and prudent leadership to ensure that you get the best out of your workers. And in some instances, frankly, the region has failed in that regard. But I am optimistic that come 2018, those difficulties will be addressed.
Now, you mentioned the limitations of the RDCs. Are you guys making any effort to, say, liaise with, say, the ministry communities where you have people with experience who could guide them in management practices and procedures and so on to expedite these things?
The region, the RDC, in some regard, is somewhat shortchanged because of the need for more staffing. And representation has been made from the regional executive-led office, where this was communicated to the respective ministry. And the ministry too is somewhat slothful in satisfying the need of the RDC. And that too has contributed to the slothful progression, as I would like to say, with regards to the execution, effective execution of the responsibilities of the RDC. So that too is an area that needs to be addressed, and I believe it will be addressed come 2018, because it's important for us to utilize all of the resources that have been afforded to us as a region.
Okay, now, you're one of 3 MPs. How do you guys work together in terms of like going out into the communities and talking to people and so on?
Of course, I mean, you have a responsibility to ground with the people. And I always tell the people of the community, they are our bosses. I mean, we are elected servants, and you are entrusted with the responsibility to serve in the interests of the people. So the onus is upon you to ensure that you go out and ground with the average, the common man, so to speak, and hear what their views are, hear what their perspective is with regards to certain things that are of great interest to them, so that you could make the necessary recommendations that are needed to address those needs and concerns of those said residents. Each MP has been assigned an area. Minister Yearwood has been assigned Mackenzie, I was assigned Wismar, and MP Rutherford was assigned the Kokwani, Aichun, and the Borbis River. So, but irrespective of that, we still mingle in each other's domain because at the end of the day, all of us represent the interests of Region 10 and not just a specified location or area.
So you're optimistic for the region going forward to 2018?
I'm always optimistic for Region 10 and all. Region 10 is a very unique, I don't want to say a blessed community. The skill set, the knowledge, I mean, we are a community that represents a microcosm of what Guyana is in essence. So the optimism is always there for greatness to be developed and be birthed out of Region 10.
Right. Well, thanks for sharing this time with us. I know you got to run, and good luck with your budget debates. And you were watching Budget in Focus. Paul McAdam here. With me, one of the 3 MPs covering Region 10, Jermaine Figueira. Thanks for watching.